All right. So, 1998, I was on the road with Carl Jensen's Tiny Universe and the Gray Boy All Stars. At this time, Neil was living in Manhattan. He was going to the Manhattan School of Music, and he had a really dope gig working at HMV. And if I'm remembering correctly, in the jazz department at HMV. So I was on tour with Carl and made my way, into New York City, connected with Neil. And he hit me to this CD that, man, messed me up, blew my mind, the whole nine. That was John Scofield's A Go-Go. Woo! That album, as you know, changed everything. And if you don't know, you need to know. Anyway, so going back to when I was younger, when I first started playing guitar, I was playing guitar quite a bit. And I mentioned Hendrix, but there was one album that I picked up that I spent so much time trying to learn, and that was Scofield's Time on My Hands. So back in the day, I was trying to learn every Hendrix tune, and I was trying to learn every tune on Time on My Hands. Okay, we're fast forwarding now. I'm not going to stay in the past too long, or the distant past. So anyway, I split New York on tour, but that A Go-Go album, I couldn't get it out of my head. And to be honest, that was a sound, not necessarily that I wanted to emulate or go for necessarily, but what it did, it opened up a whole lot of possibilities in my mind for what the next band that Neil and I would be starting would kind of be about. Like I said, it just opened up the possibilities of, instrumental, funk, jazz, soul. That was it. So we fast forward a little bit. Neil and I start the band. Kraz eventually joins us. We do the thing. Everything is taken off real quick. And we find ourselves at a jazz festival in Boston. We all heard that Scofield was playing at this festival as well. It's like a big outdoor thing. And I remember later that evening, we were playing somewhere in town. Anyway, the cool thing is our friend Marlon Browden was playing drums with Scofield at the time. Now, Neil and I and Kim knew Marlon from back in the Moon Boot days when he was playing with Screaming Headless Torsos. So, all right, my mind is going, man. First of all, I'd love to meet Scofield because he was the cat. That was my man. Okay, couldn't meet Hendrix, but I can meet Scofield. So, and I was like, he has to hear this band. He has to hear Soul Live because I know if he does, he's gonna want to play with us. So I hit up Marlon. I'm like, yo, dude, bring Sco over to our set. We were playing outside. Man, just bring him over. And that was it. Well, Marlon, after they played, before or after they played, I can't remember. They came over. They checked out, I guess, a little bit of our set. I don't know how much, but man, I didn't get to meet John that day, but I felt like the seed was planted. Next thing you know, Scofield is playing a couple of tunes on Turn It Out. And you know what? That was probably the day I met him, was in the studio down in New York. Anyway, come on. I get to meet I shouldn't say my guitar heroes, one of my just musical, composer guitar heroes. We had a great time in the studio. Things just happened. It clicked. The cool thing is, obviously, over the years, we've done quite a few shows with John. But the thing that really struck me, one time we were hanging out. We were backstage somewhere after sound checking, and John is just kind of telling us stories of, playing with Miles and, with Billy Cobham. He was just going down the list of all these just incredible people. But the cool thing about it was his perspective, I guess. From where he was telling the story, he had holds these people in such high regard. It was like I could hear and feel the younger John Scofield in him telling these stories. In very much the way I am telling these stories right now. Just the excitement that he still has for, meeting these people, like playing with Miles Davis. I don't know if that was ever in his thoughts and dreams. Maybe not. But you could tell that it did something for him, did something to him. Just like meeting Scofield for the first time, and then getting to play on stage in the studio with him and on stage with him. And now I can send him a text, give him a call. We're cool. Why am I bringing this up? Well, one, I've said this many times, that album, A Go-Go, has a lot to do with why Soul Live exists, period. So I always am thankful to John for that. And I'm just going on the record to say it again, and I'll say it again and again and again. But the other thing that hits me a lot. Look, I like to say that the music business, or the business of music, whatever you want to call it, it's like a numbers game. You stay in this long enough, you stay at it, with passion and drive. It's hard. It can be a hard road, but you do it long enough, you will meet the people who influenced you, or you have a very good chance, I should say, of meeting those people who kind of lay the groundwork for you. Yeah, it's just do it long enough, good things will happen. You will meet these people. I can't say how many times it's happened to me, it happened to us as a band, where you're just sitting there and just in absolute amazement. But I don't think it's that amazing. You work hard, put in the time, put in the effort, and most importantly, you just be yourself. Man, The Circle of Musical Life. Love it. All right.